and free on all platforms.
Escorted in handcuffs, WNBA star Brittney Griner is in court for her first trial day in Russia. Family, friends, teammates, coaches stateside are fighting for her freedom. Keeping the fight over abortion rights at the forefront. President Biden, who is vowing that fight is not over, hosted a meeting today with 10 Democratic governors trying to make their states safe havens following the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade. Our conversation with one of the governors involved in that meeting. Meanwhile, across the country, at least 12 states have blocked nearly all abortion services as others fight to expand access. Our Rachel Scott has the story coast to coast.
I honestly cried tears of joy.
The Supreme Court turned their backs on women in general.
Breaking travel records this holiday weekend. 48 million Americans are expected to hit the road or take to the skies, while airports are dealing with thousands of delays, cancellations, and staff shortages, and drivers facing the highest gas prices ever over the 4th of July weekend. Meanwhile, a holiday storm threat is churning. ABC's Trevor Ault and Rob Marciano are standing by. Known as a movie and sitcom star, Constance Wu is taking on a thrill in her latest role. Our Phil Lipoff sat down with the actress to talk about her new show, The Terminal List, life without social media and representation in Hollywood.
Nothing's ever final, right? Everything is always a process. And so you have 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 5 steps back.
It's tennis mixed with ping pong with a dash of badminton. Tonight, we're taking you inside the fast-growing sport of pickleball to show you why people are relishing in the new pastime.
You could be 22, 32, or 92, I guess, and just be really good at this game.
Good evening, I'm Stephanie Ramos in for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Millions of Americans are on the move tonight, taking to the skies and highways ahead of this Independence Day weekend. A record 42 million people are expected to head out on the road, even as gas prices still hover near record highs. And they're heading out into a nation that's even more divided, as the Supreme Court's decision overturning Roe versus Wade reverberates across states now governed by a patchwork of laws on who does and doesn't have access to abortion. Today, President Biden met with a group of Democratic governors on the road ahead on abortion, as many blue states look to protect and expand access, while many red states have already triggered laws that end the right to an abortion, with more states with restrictions to come in the weeks ahead. So we begin tonight with the nation's battle over abortion. ABC's senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest from Washington.
1 week after Roe was overturned, and with the fight over abortion chaotically playing out state by state, President Biden today convened a panel of Democratic governors to figure out what they can do.
Mr. President, I have a brand new granddaughter. I didn't think we'd have to fight this battle for her generation as well, but apparently we do.
Well, I didn't think we would either.
Biden is under increasing pressure, some Democrats calling him slow to respond to the decision that has rocked the country. Right now, at least 12 states have stopped nearly all abortion services. In Florida, a judge is expected to temporarily block the state's 15-week abortion ban, but Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is vowing to appeal.
These are unborn babies that have heartbeat, they can feel pain.
In New York today, the state Senate taking the first step to enshrine the right to an abortion into the state constitution. In New Jersey, Democratic Governor Phil Murphy signing a law protecting women who come to the state seeking an abortion and the healthcare providers who perform the procedures.
These laws will make New Jersey a beacon of freedom for every American woman.
Back in Washington, Biden is looking ahead to the midterms, warning if Republicans take control of Congress, they could pass a nationwide abortion ban.
So the choice is clear. We either elect federal senators and representatives who will codify Roe, or Republicans who will elect the House and Senate who will try to ban abortions nationwide. nationwide.
Mary Bruce joins me now from the White House. Mary, we know the president has called for the Senate to do away with the filibuster to pass legislation protecting abortion rights. But today he recognized that's an uphill battle.
It's simply not going to happen. The president today, Stephanie, admitting the political reality here, which is that even with Biden's backing, he still doesn't have enough support on Capitol Hill to change the Senate rules to get this done. Two moderate Democrats are still opposed. And that's part of the reason why you are hearing the president repeatedly stressing the importance of these upcoming midterm elections. Stephanie?
That's right. The president emphasizing restoring abortion rights will come down to the November election. Mary Bruce for us at the White House. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For an inside view of that meeting between President Biden and governors, we're joined now by Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont. Governor, thank you for joining us. What did you feel was the most important message from today's meeting?
I can tell you that President Biden is passionate. He was shocked that the Supreme Court, which historically is there to protect our rights, did the overturning Roe v. Wade, which takes away a women's rights. And he said, this is what we can do. Number one, vote for Democrats, to be blunt about it. If you want Roe v. Wade to be the law of the land, vote for Democrats. If you vote for a few more Republicans in the Senate, you could outlaw Roe v. Wade. He was clear about that. And secondly, he said, we're going to make sure that travel can't be banned, so that if a woman who wants to exercise her reproductive rights coming out of, say, Texas, they can go to Connecticut. We'll be a safe harbor. Nobody can stop them. Nobody can subpoena them. Nobody can sue them. We'll be there to protect their rights.
And Governor, you issued an invitation to businesses in states with abortion bans to relocate to Connecticut. Have you heard from companies considering a move in response to this issue?
We just sent the note out, but I think it's really important. Families and companies think about moving for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it's taxes, sometimes it's weather, sometimes it's values and culture. And if your employees, if your investors, your customers think they want to be identified with a company that fights for a woman's right to choose, respects women, I think Connecticut may be a place for them.
There are so many women and families right now trying to put together their options, and businesses as well. Now, you signed a law to protect medical providers and patients seeking abortion care on May 5th, just 3 days after the Supreme Court ruling was leaked. Why did you feel it was important to get in front of this issue?
Because there's so much confusion out there right now, and men and women are incredibly distraught, incredibly shocked. So yeah, we said, I want you to be guaranteed, A, nobody's going to take away your right to choose, not in the state of Connecticut, not as long as I'm here. And it will be a safe harbor for others who may want to come and exercise their reproductive freedoms as well.
And Governor, last Friday, when that Supreme Court decision was made, I was in Mississippi right outside a clinic, the only abortion clinic in the state of Mississippi. And I can tell you it was contentious there between clinic workers and anti-abortion rights activists. And there was a lot of confusion. There were a lot of women that were trying to drive up to the clinic and were confused as to whether they were open or not. What are you hearing from women health providers in the state of Connecticut? Are they receiving out-of-state inquiries? Are people making plans to travel for abortion care there in your state?
Stephanie, they're receiving in-state inquiries as well as out-of-state inquiries. When you throw out a ruling like this, there's so much confusion. Is my reproductive choice, is contraceptions, is abortion banned all across the country? Is it legal in Connecticut, not other places? So we're going to set up a hotline, say 1-800-CHOICE. I want to be a place where people know they can get the very best advice so they know what they can count on.
And the president today, Governor, said that efforts in Congress to restore abortion rights will come down to the November election. We've heard this before. And he also said it will come down to whether voters elect 2 more Democratic senators, the number needed to override a filibuster. What do voters everywhere, not just in the states with contested seats, what do they need to know?
They need to know that elections matter. They need to know that, look, maybe you're not a single issue voter, but boy, we now realize that those who want to outlaw a woman's right to choose vote that issue loud and clear. And I think pro-choice voters have got to be motivated. They got to realize that your right to choose, your right to make your own reproductive choices, your right to make sure no politician stands between you and your doctor, your vote will make a big difference on this. Vote accordingly.
Governor Ned Lamont of Connecticut. Governor, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for those insights as to what took place in that meeting. Thank you.
Nice to see you, Stephanie.
Today, WNBA star Brittney Griner's trial in Russia began. The star, who has become a possible wartime bargaining chip, faces up to a decade behind bars if she's convicted. While Griner is held in detention overseas, here in the U.S., her family, friends, teammates, and coaches fight for her freedom. ABC's Lama Hassan reports.
More than 4 months after her arrest, Brittney Griner, shackled and surrounded by security, walked into a Russian court in a Moscow suburb for the first day of her trial behind closed doors.
We want to say something to Sharel.
The first witness to take the stand, a customs officer who was at the airport when Griner was arrested. Griner telling a Reuters reporter inside the courtroom that it's been difficult because she doesn't speak Russian and that she misses the physical activity she's used to, now constrained to stretches and common exercises.
She is doing as well as can be expected in these difficult circumstances, and she asked me to convey that she is in good spirits and is keeping up the faith.
At a pre-trial hearing, the court extended the 7-time WNBA All-Star player's detention until December 20th. Ordering her to remain in custody for the duration of her criminal trial.
Brittney, how do you feel?
The 2-time Olympic gold medalist battle began in February while flying back through Moscow's airport. Russian authorities allege that Griner was carrying vape cartridges containing hashish oil, an offense punishable by up to 10 years in prison. The U.S. government says Griner is wrongfully detained, sending her case to the department's special envoy for hostage affairs.
We are actively working to find a resolution to this case, and will continue to do so without rest until we get Brittney safely home.
The Kremlin denies any political motives behind the arrest, but as Griner's detention in Russia lingers, the pleas growing for the release of the Phoenix Mercury star. Griner's wife, Sharel, recently opening up to ABC's Robin Roberts.
Your country they haven't come to your rescue yet. She doesn't want to be forgotten.
If Griner is convicted, Sharel's hope that her wife will be released through a prisoner swap like Trevor Reed, the former Marine who spent 3 years in a Russian labor camp for allegedly assaulting a police officer and was released in April in exchange for Russian pilot Konstantin Yaroshenko. Reed now advocating for the release of other prisoners held abroad, including Griner's.
Brittney, especially in Russia, is probably in a lot of ways in a worse position than I was, because Brittney is African American. They also have a government that systematically discriminates against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual people under Vladimir Putin.
Griner is just one of a string of Americans recently caught up in Russia's legal system. American teacher Mark Fogel was charged with large-scale cannabis smuggling after being caught with a little more than half an ounce of marijuana, sentenced to 14 years in a Russian prison. He's seen here in a video released by Russia's Interior Ministry at a Moscow airport in August last year. Russia claims that Fogel's wife can be seen disposing the evidence. Fogel maintains the marijuana and hash oil were prescribed. And then there's former Marine Paul Whelan, held in Russia since 2018.
Paul, I am from ABC News. Do you want to say something?
I don't think they want me to say anything.
Russian intelligence grabbed him in Moscow while he was there to attend a friend's wedding. The FSB accused Whelan of receiving a flash drive with classified material on it, later charging him with espionage and sentencing him to 16 years in a Russian prison camp. Whelan spoke to ABC News from prison. He says he was framed by a Russian friend.
On the day in question, he came over unannounced. I'm taking a shower, trying to get ready to go to this wedding dinner. And, 10 minutes after he gets there, his friends come through the door and say I'm a spy.
We have to get Paul Whelan out. He's a Marine. He's wrongfully detained. Brittney Griner also. I think that should be our objective. And the way you do this is through quiet diplomacy.
With Griner's detention prolonged by at least another 5 months, an all-out effort by her friends and teammates to hasten her release. Phoenix Mercury star players meeting with State Department officials. Vigils held across the country, from Texas.
Free Brittney! Free Brittney!
To New York.
Free Brittney!
The only thing that we're asking as a family is that the administrations come together and work out something to let my sister come home.
Her friends and teammates rallying, hoping the lessons that Griner learned through playing professional basketball can help carry her through this difficult time.
I want her to utilize all the mental strength that playing a sport like basketball has given her so she can hold on to hope, because we need her strong.
So what's next for Brittney Griner? Well, after 2 witnesses failed to testify today, her trial is set to continue on July 7th, and she remains in detention throughout the trial. Now, just hours after the hearing was over, Secretary of State Antony Blinken tweeting, "We and I personally have no higher priority than bringing her and other wrongfully detained Americans, including Paul Whelan, home. And we won't stop working," he says, "until they are reunited with their loved ones." Stephanie.
Lama, thank you. Outrage, sadness, and anger understandably still felt by the parents and loved ones of the victims in the Uvalde school shooting. Many unleashed tears and anger at a city council meeting from community members demanding answers. ABC's Mireya Villarreal with our report, Uvalde 365, a continuing ABC News series on the Texas community trying to cope in the shadow of tragedy.
Anguish and anger boiling over for families nearly 6 weeks after 21 people were massacred inside Robb Elementary.
Kids were obliterated. My sister was obliterated. It was a closed casket.
Loved ones begging Uvalde officials to know why other law enforcement officers, besides Chief Pete Arredondo, didn't rush into the classroom.
I know there's a limit on what you can do. Go beyond that. What if it was your kid?
The mayor insisting even he can't get those answers while the shooting is still under investigation.
We're not trying to hide anything from you. We're not trying to do anything. We don't have anything.
Hold comfort for parents.
District Attorney, Governor, everybody that's accountable for this massacre that happened here in Uvalde, be accountable. Show your face. Answer our questions now. Now, now, now.
We caught up with District Attorney Christina Busby today at her office.
I have been meeting individually with the families of the deceased and the families of the injured, and we're working our way through that list.
The mayor says that he's been asking for information over and over and over and over and has been getting absolutely nothing, and he got torn apart at last night's meeting.
I'm not going to comment on any comment from any of our local leaders.
Those words have to be so difficult for the families to hear. Mireya Villarreal joins us now. Mireya, are the families in touch with the DA?
So, Stephanie, here's what we know as of right now. There are families that are directly impacted by the shooting that say the district attorney has yet to reach out to them. But there are several families that have met and spoken with the district attorney recently. I just got off the phone with one of them, and he tells me even in confidence, the DA is refusing to give them any new information about what happened the day of the shooting.
And Mireya, there was some local reporting that the families of the victims were asked to take down the memorials. Has there been any update on whether that will actually happen?
So as of right now, we just got new information that the city is now kind of backing off of that. There was a possibility that they were going to come in and possibly take down the memorial on Sunday over the holiday weekend. They started to call some of the families and ask them to come and get the items that maybe were important to them, special to them at this memorial. It sounds like they did get a lot of pushback, not just from these families, but from the community as a whole. So the last thing we heard just a few minutes ago from the city was, as of right now, they're not asking anyone to take anything down, and the memorial is still going to remain up and available for people to visit.
Mireya, thank you so much. We turn now to the deadly standoff in eastern Kentucky that left 2 officers and a police canine dead and 5 other officers and an on-site official wounded. It happened when deputies who were serving an emergency protection order were met with gunfire. The sheriff saying the officers had no chance. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, a Kentucky community in mourning, a somber procession winding down, carrying the bodies of 2 police officers killed in the line of duty.
These are human beings. These are people with children, spouses, and mom and dads. And their world will never be the same.
The officers and their canine support dog were ambushed, killed while trying to serve a warrant for domestic violence.
When they arrived, they had no chance.
Authorities say Lance Storrs immediately began firing with a rifle as soon as the police arrived at the scene.
When I get out of the car, there's bullets raining down on us. It's a war zone.
In addition to the 2 officers killed, an emergency worker and 5 other state and local police officers were wounded.
Lance Storrs.
Today, Storrs, looking bruised and battered, was arraigned on murder charges.
There's a special place in hell for people like this. And if there ain't, there ought to be.
Our thanks to Pierre. And overseas tonight, a deadly Russian missile strike in the Odessa region of Ukraine. It came in the middle of the night, blasting an apartment building as people slept. At least 21 people killed in the attack. ABC's foreign correspondent James Longman has the latest from Ukraine.
Tonight, Russian missile strikes rain down on a Ukrainian seaside town. This apartment building crushed in the early hours of the morning. At least 16 people killed as they slept. Among the many injured, authorities say children and a pregnant woman.
This community is trying to come to terms with what happened. I mean, take a look. It hit right in the heart of this neighborhood. And up here, you can see every single level of this building has been impacted by the force of the blast.
We meet Lena, who lives opposite. She's in tears and in shock. Everything was destroyed, she says, crying.
May we come and look? Is that okay with you? Yes, 13th floor. Michael, yes, Michael. Michael and James. Wow.
Lena and her husband Mikhail show us the devastation to their home. She describes taking shelter in the corridor when the blast hit.
So take a look. These were Lena's neighbors, her friends, people she knew, and they were wiped out. How do they keep their humor?
If it's not for our sense of humor, she says, we'd join them in the grave. We are Ukrainians. We keep strong.
Our thanks to James. Back here at home, Americans seem ready to celebrate their independence on the road this weekend. High gas prices, fewer flights, and staffing shortages across the board aren't keeping many people home this year. ABC's Trevor Ault has the lowdown on what you can expect out there.
Tonight, severe weather slamming the brakes on some 4th of July plans, leading several major airports into ground stops in what's supposed to be one of the busiest travel weekends of the year. Flights in Philadelphia, New York, and the nation's capital all impacted for hours, creating a ripple effect nationwide.
I'm expecting that to be delayed, so I've already told my friend who's going to be picking me up.
Chaos comes as nearly 48 million Americans are expected to celebrate away from home this weekend. Flight demand soaring despite 4th of July airfares climbing 45% from 2019. The average domestic round-trip ticket now $437. Our Alex Perez is at O'Hare International in Chicago.
You can see already a steady line of passengers here at O'Hare bracing for the big holiday weekend. The TSA says they have about 1,000 officers on hold, ready to be deployed at busy airports across the country if necessary.
And major airlines continue to struggle with insufficient staffing. Starting today, Delta, American, and United are all cutting back flight schedules for the next 2 months. The situation is so dire, Delta offered 8 passengers on one overbooked flight $10,000 cash for their seats. But the vast majority of travelers are opting for the roads. A record 42 million traveling this weekend by car, fighting both congestion and inflation. As on average, nationally, a gallon of gas costs $4.84, the most of any July 4th ever.
It's horrible. I regret going to the gas station every time I have to go.
This time last year, it cost $56.21 to fill up the average SUV. Today, it'll set you back $87.15. This morning in Compton, a line of cars snaking around the corner just for a chance at a $50 gas giveaway. As today, California's annual gas tax hike adds nearly 3 more cents a gallon to what are already the highest prices nationwide.
Realize that those gas stations that are closest to the highway exits will always be the most expensive. So if you take that exit and then drive down the road a mile or so to that gas station there, it will tend to be cheaper.
Our thanks to Trevor. As all those travelers head to their destination, many of them face a holiday storm threat that stretches from Washington to New York to Boston. More than 50 million Americans could see the impact. Plus, the second named storm of the season, Tropical Storm Bonnie, is growing. ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it all for us. Hey there, Rob.
Hi, Stephanie. Between the tropical trouble and the heat and humidity and these thunderstorms, it certainly feels like July 1st. More storms are popping across the D.C. area right now. We have a watch that remains up there, includes Baltimore and Charlottesville. Some of these have had hail. Some of them have had damaging winds with some trees down. And the tropical threats that are in Louisiana, Lake Charles specifically, we've got a flood watch up there. This area could use the rain, but all that rain's coming at one time, so that's not good. And also a tropical disturbance over the Carolinas, and there's a flood watch out for Charleston, so we could continue to see tropical downpours there over the next 12 to 24 hours. But the front that's draped across the Great Lakes right now will push across the Appalachians tomorrow, and during the afternoon hours, drapes right across the I-95 corridor from D.C. up through Philly, Baltimore, New York, Hartford, Providence, Boston. You're all in it. Figure 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock at night, damaging winds, large hail. Can't rule out an isolated tornado, but once this front comes through, things do get to be a little bit more pleasant and quieter. Tomorrow looks to be the most problematic weather day of the holiday weekend. Stephanie?
All right. Rob, thank you so much. Rob Marciano for us in Connecticut. Thank you. When we come back, the heart-stopping, desperate minutes as an officer tries to save a child from drowning. The brutal shark attack off the coast of Florida, and it's been 1 week since Roe versus Wade was overturned. Our Rachel Scott has been traveling the country in the aftermath of that ruling. What she learned when we come back.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast, now streaming on ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
Here at the White House.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
Here along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go. We made it.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
Seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know,
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it? Feel smarter,
feel better.
feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
The hottest views in daytime are happening right here.
We talk about things on this show that people don't talk about.
That I can't wait to see. Honest takes from strong women.
We need all hands on deck, and we need it right now. This is the time to speak out.
Unafraid to get real.
We stick by our points of view.
We're all seeing it differently, and that's the beauty of The View.
And that's why the most watched #1 daytime talk show is The View. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
America is being poisoned with fentanyl, and we don't even know it.
Just heard my wife screaming. She told me they had just died.
50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. Keep breathing, come on. It's poison, it's pure poison.
A few grains of salt worth of fentanyl will kill you.
Just my agency has seized enough to kill the entire country.
ABC News Live presents Poisoned, America's Fentanyl Crisis. The powerful series, streaming free on ABC News Live. Take America's #1 news with you, anywhere you go, anytime, free. Download the ABC News app now. Breaking news, exclusives, 24/7, there for you with one touch. The ABC News app, download it now. America's #1 news, ABC News. Most watched, most trusted, and streaming live to you, anytime, anywhere, and free. This is ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Free to you 24/7. Watch America's #1 news whenever you want it, wherever you are, anytime. ABC News Live, streaming live and free on all platforms.
What's up, buddy? Free, baby.
Honey, come back. You fight. Breathe, baby, breathe. Breathe, honey. Breathe, honey.
There she goes.
There you go.
Come on, baby.
Come on. You can do it. Come on.
Some really tough moments there. You're watching an Oklahoma deputy saving a young child's life as her mother pleads for her daughter, who was unconscious for 5 minutes, to wake up. Police responded to the lake outside of Tulsa 2 minutes after they were called by 911 about a possible drowning. That little girl is now recovering with her family, and we are so glad to hear it. It's been 1 week since the Supreme Court's conservative majority struck down Roe versus Wade, changing the landscape of abortion access across much of the nation. As many Americans are still making sense of the impact of the ruling, ABC's Rachel Scott has been traveling throughout the country all week, getting a sense of what's happening on the ground in states restricting abortion and those fighting to expand access. Here's her report.
Tonight, uncertainty and emotion in a post-Roe America.
My body, my choice.
We hit the road from the deep south to the heartland. The Supreme Court's ruling 1 week ago exposing deep societal rifts and splitting the country in half.
I honestly cried tears of joy.
The Supreme Court turned their backs on women in general.
Roughly a dozen states have stopped nearly all abortions. 13 others will likely restrict access in the coming weeks and months. Those so-called trigger laws were on the books in some cases since before the Civil War, fueling a new round of legal challenges.
I don't think that a law that was written before the Civil War or before women secured the right to vote should be used to dictate these intimate decisions on reproductive health.
Regional Logistics Center. In Fairview Heights, Illinois, where abortion is legal, the phones keep ringing. The staff here are helping out-of-state patients secure transportation and hotels.
And when is your appointment?
Outside of our normal service area, Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, we are seeing those folks already coming to us.
Are you bracing to see a surge in patients?
Yeah, we said this is ground zero and we're bracing for impact for sure. Projections indicate that Illinois as a state might see up to 30,000 additional abortion patient seekers, and about half of those will come here to Southern Illinois. So we're looking at more than 100% increase in the volume.
An increase in volume that has this clinic counting on additional support from state lawmakers. Illinois is quickly becoming a safe haven, surrounded by states banning or severely restricting access to abortion.
We are very fortunate that we have an administration here in Illinois that is incredibly supportive. We've been working with the governor to shore up some funding, for example, for the clinics who are here on the ground looking to absorb those patients.
Just 15 miles away in Missouri, where abortion is banned, Republican State Representative Mary Elizabeth Coleman is working on legislation that could prevent healthcare workers from helping patients get abortions in other states.
What I would like to see happen is people's activity in the state of Missouri follow the law in the state of Missouri. And if people are going to choose not to do that and to violate the laws of our state, then they will be liable under the penalties in our code for that activity.
But a provider making a call to schedule an appointment for a woman seeking an abortion already in Missouri, in your opinion, that should be something that should actually be looked at?
Yeah, for activity that is in the state of Missouri, then it's something that we'll definitely take a look at in the future.
She says she's been waiting her entire life for Roe to be struck down.
When I was a little girl, I was said, I'm part of the pro-life generation, and we would say, we're the generation that's going to end Roe. I didn't expect that we would see it, maybe even in my lifetime.
Back in Illinois and closer to the Indiana border, which is expected to restrict access to abortion, this clinic describing the typical patient they are seeing.
It's really patients who are already facing immense barriers to health care. Patients who have already been marginalized by the healthcare system, patients who are struggling to make ends meet, who are deciding, do I pay my rent or do I feed my kids? And it's really heartbreaking how disproportionate it is.
Medical staff in states where abortion restrictions are closing in, now focusing on reproductive health care education.
And we've been here ever since the wheels started turning.
In Mississippi, the nation's poorest state, Juliette Thomas and Antoinette Road often drive hundreds of miles to provide underserved communities with free reproductive and sexual health care services, all from their mobile clinic.
Being from the Mississippi Delta, you know, a lot of clinics have closed due to lack of funding and other things.
They have found most women in the area do not have easy access to reproductive health care, let alone contraception and other family planning services.
Having access to quality health care people of color don't have, and even being educated on what questions to ask when they go to their provider, you know, that's kind of not done in the African American communities.
This clinic does not provide abortions, but takes a hands-on approach in helping patients prevent unwanted pregnancies before they happen through emergency contraception like Plan B.
A lot of communities, the clinics are not trained to do family planning or anything like that, so therefore they don't have those services. Yes, they may come in for a Plan B, but we counsel them on how to use that.
Roe was overturned yesterday. This is illegal.
Studies show states with the most restrictive abortion laws have invested the least in policies and programs for women and children.
Making the laws has to be just part of the solution. Having a culture that supports women has to be the priority as well. I would say that what I'm trying to do is make sure that we have women have access to all the resources that she needs once she has found out that she's facing pregnancy.
Several states now looking into legislation that would stop women seeking an abortion from crossing state lines. The Department of Justice vowing to fight any movement restrictions in a statement released last week, saying women who reside in states that have banned access to comprehensive reproductive care must remain free to seek that care in states where it is legal.
There is no magic bullet, but if there is something we can do, we will find it and we will do it.
Internet searches for abortion pills up nearly 162% in recent months, and the Roe ruling may set the stage for future legal battles over abortion medication. All this while President Biden is calling on Congress to change the Senate rules, allowing an exception to the Senate filibuster to codify abortion rights.
We have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, and the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that. And if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. It should be, we provide an exception for this.
Millions of women and the healthcare staff that support them now face an uncertain future.
It still felt soul crushing to know that this country that is supposed to be leading the free world has just allowed at least half of the people in our country to lose access to such basic reproductive health care. Disappointing, devastating, and quite frankly, embarrassing for this country.
Our thanks to Rachel. Still ahead, Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill goes into effect. We have the latest on that. Our conversation with actress Constance Wu about her new TV role and how it's a departure from what we've typically seen from her. And gas prices are on the way down as the way we consume energy changes. We take a look by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day from ESPN. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. And if you don't know what that means, take a look at that tweet. The man is getting paid every year on July 1st by the Mets.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 12 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine, close to the front line.
Here at the White House.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
We made it.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
America is being poisoned with fentanyl, and we don't even know it.
Just heard my wife screaming. She told me they had just died.
50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. Keep breathing, come on. It's poison, it's pure poison.
A few grains of salt worth of fentanyl will kill you.
Just my agency has seized enough to kill the entire country.
ABC News Live presents Poisoned, America's Fentanyl Crisis. The powerful series, streaming free on ABC News Live.
These days, with so much going on, it's hard to keep up.
While others are recapping yesterday's headlines,
we're bringing you the right now.
This is the busy border crossing. Steel barricades, another strike.
The Right Now look at the day ahead, how it affects you and your family.
Record high gas prices.
The threat of cyber warfare.
Is peace possible?
World News Now beginning at 2 a.m. Eastern, followed by America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
Streaming here on ABC News Live.
Take America's #1 news with you anywhere you go, anytime, free. Download the ABC News app now. Breaking news, exclusives, 24/7. There for you with one touch. The ABC News app. Download it now.
As of today, in a big way, we have inaugurated abcnews.com.
A lot has changed in our world since Peter made that announcement. But what hasn't changed is the commitment to groundbreaking reporting and innovation at abcnews.com. And here's to everything ahead.
As millions of Americans hit the road for the holiday weekend, the price of gas may be weighing on many minds. We looked into it, and we have some good news and some bad news by the numbers. Here's the good news. Gas is 4 cents a gallon cheaper on average today than it was on Monday. Prices have been dropping in recent weeks due to reduced demand. Here's the bad, though. It's still averaging $4.82 a gallon. That's $1.70 more than this time last year. And if you live in California, it is $6.27, including a sales tax hike of 3 cents a gallon that went into effect today. But it could be worse. $8.80 a gallon is what drivers in the UK, that's what they're paying. A Washington Post survey found U.S. gas prices lower than most other wealthy countries. One reason for the drop in demand for oil, 13% of global power now comes from renewable sources. That's according to BP Oil's annual review. And the job market is shifting as well. 2021 saw a 26% increase in jobs supporting the electric car market. Wind and solar energy were also big hirers. While fossil fuel industries lost nearly 40,000 workers last year, according to a Department of Energy report. So is it good news? Is it bad news? Is it tank half full or half empty? We'll leave that up to you, but wherever your holiday plans take you, we wish you a very smooth ride. And we still have a lot to get to here on Prime. The rumbling hill and the families in one nation left homeless by what it's been unleashing. And are you about that pickleball life? Do you know what that is? We will explain. But first, here's a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Now streaming on ABC News Live 2020. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues, The Hunt. True crime 2020. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
National parks are incredibly safe places. A crime will happen.
Hey, my wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
America's #1 news, ABC News. Most watched, most trusted, and streaming live to you anytime, anywhere, and free. This is ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news, free to you 24/7. Watch America's #1 news whenever you want it, wherever you are, anytime. ABC News Live, streaming live and free on all platforms.
The holiday travel rush is on. AAA estimates 42 million Americans will drive this 4th of July weekend. Millions more who have flights are facing a cascade of problems, from airlines, staff shortages, to weather. Ground stops have been issued at several major airports due to thunderstorms.
Delta pilots hitting the picket lines at several airports across the country yesterday, demanding better pay and better schedules. Delta vowing to continue hiring several hundred employees weekly. They're also bringing in corporate employees to help at major airports this weekend. The TSA keeping 1,000 additional agents on standby if needed. Meantime, millions opting to drive instead. The average price of gas is at $4.84 a gallon, lower than last week, but still much higher than last year.
President Biden meeting virtually with several Democratic governors on protecting a woman's access to an abortion. Biden admitting he doesn't have the votes right now to do a carve-out for the Senate filibuster in order to pass a bill that would codify Roe into law. Instead, he pointed those upset with the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe versus Wade to the November elections. At least 12 states are facing legal challenges to abortion bans, and several others, like New York and California, have taken steps to protect doctors who perform them and abortion seekers who come from out of state.
In Florida, the Don't Say Gay bill went into effect today.
It's technically called the Parental Rights and Education Bill, but it's been dubbed as the Don't Say Gay bill because it bans classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grades. It states that any instruction on those topics cannot occur in a manner that is not age appropriate in accordance with the state standards.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has said the law puts parents back in charge of their kids' education, but critics say it will harm children.
17-year-old Addison Bethea speaking out from her hospital bed after being bitten by a shark off Florida's Keaton Beach.
I look and it's a big old shark. So then I remember from watching like Animal Planet to like you're supposed to punch him in the nose or something like that, and I was like, couldn't get around to his nose the way he bit me.
Addison and her brother were scallop fishing yesterday in 6 feet of water when the shark attacked. Her brother, an EMS firefighter, managing to pull the 9-foot shark off of Addison and get her onto a boat, where he used a rope to make a tourniquet on her leg. She was airlifted to a Tallahassee hospital where doctors are trying to save her leg.
Authorities in Texas are continuing to identify the 53 victims of the truck crash near San Antonio. Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office says so far 6 victims have been conclusively identified, with 42 potentially identified and 5 still unidentified. Officials working with consulates of potentially affected countries to identify the victims. Meanwhile, Guatemala's foreign minister announced that 1 migrant hospitalized in the crash has been released, and 2 more will be released in the coming days.
Zoogoers looking for a good view of Southwick Zoo in Mendon, Massachusetts got a little more than they bargained for. At least 40 people were stuck on the zoo's safari ride, suspended high in the air above the zoo and many animals. The chairlift ride provides an aerial view of the park and animals. Temperatures hovered near 90 degrees during the day. Riders were seen being helped out of the chairlifts by fire truck ladders and cherry picker lifts.
From the hit sitcom Fresh Off the Boat on ABC to the iconic movie Crazy Rich Asians, we already knew actress Constance Wu had range. But in her latest project, Wu plays a hard-charging reporter alongside Chris Pratt in the thriller The Terminalist. She sat down with our Phil Lipoff to talk about the new series, her life off of social media, and her fight for representation in Hollywood.
12 SEALs lost and no one in command even issues a statement.
Nothing in this file adds up.
Well, I'm not crazy.
You need somebody to help you prove it.
You're not at war. You're at home. There's a difference.
not anymore.
So let's talk about the terminal list, because I was getting set to ask you about the atmosphere on set anyways, because it is so alpha male, testosterone laden.
Totally.
You know, SEAL Team 7, and there you are, and your character is equally as strong, just in a different way. You're not going out there with a gun and trying to save the world, but you're trying to find the truth.
Yeah, my character, Katie Burnick, she doesn't take any BS, which is part of what makes her a great journalist. She's not trying to appease any journalism standards or ideas. She's just trying to get to the truth of the matter. And in the case of Chris Pratt's character, James Reese, there's a lot that goes on, and it's very personal because these Navy SEALs, the platoon, they train together. They go into these dangerous situations together. Yeah, it's truly a family. So when something happens to them, it's like something happening to your family.
Investigations are still ongoing into the failures of Operation Odin Sword.
Failed mission resulted in the death of 12 Navy SEALs.
And I think Katie, my character, really cares about that and cares about having justice for these families. And so she sort of helps Reese.
How did this, we'll get into the series in a minute, but how did this play on set, being a mom and doing this? I think this is the first project.
It was my first project back after giving birth. And, I was nervous about it because your life changes so much when you have a baby. But one of the wonderful things was Chris Pratt and his wife. They had a baby kind of around the same time. So he was hyper cognizant and caring about all the things I needed to do, whether it was pumping or breastfeeding or getting on the phone with a pediatrician. Your priorities really change when you have a baby, and they change in the best way. Life has never been better. And that was one of the best things about working on Terminal List, was how much they cared about that. Because
you're living for someone other than just yourself at that moment, which,
yeah,
which
and Chris was too, for his daughter, Lila.
So when you get this material, because it's based on a book, because this guy has written it, do you prepare any different than if it's just complete fiction?
I honestly try to be very democratic about it in terms of I treat them all the same. I really just try to understand who they are as humans. In a way, when it's...
I'll find it.
When it's not a real person, it's almost a little more freeing because you get to sort of build the world around them a little more. But I mean, it was great having such amazing source material. And such a great team behind me.
So, fresh off the boat, Crazy Rich Asians, and you were on the Times 100 most. I mean, those few years from, what was it, 17 to...
oh, God, they all blend together for me. And just pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. That's how I think of things now.
That is...
Isn't it funny?
That's what the world is.
Yeah.
So, pre-pandemic, those years, you were very vocal about representation. Mm-hmm. And I think you opened a lot of eyes to it. Do you think Hollywood has done a good job since then with representation of all kinds?
I mean, nothing's ever final, right? Everything is always a process. And so you have 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 5 steps back, 6, these are things that happen. And I definitely was, back when I had social media, because I don't have it anymore, I don't use it anymore, I think people thought oh, now she's not on social media, she's not activist. But we forget that there are real things that can be done politically and just functionally in your life that are a type of activism that don't have to be spread on social media. And I think those small moments and gestures and awarenesses, just even within your small circle of things which 10 years ago you wouldn't have thought was a problem, those things have changed. And I think those small changes are what is going to bring about a slow shift in culture for equality.
Okay, so I got to dive into 2 things there.
Go for it.
First, when did you get off social media? How was that decision? And how have you felt since you've been off social media?
Not being on social media has been very peaceful.
I bet.
And, I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s kid. More power to these Gen Z kids. I just turned 40, so I feel like I can talk about them as those kids who, this is their primary form of communication. It's just not how I grew up, so it's not intuitive to me.
And it can be detrimental to your,
it can.
your health.
I just didn't want to, I will sometimes spend an entire weekend without looking at my phone once. For some kids, they can't even fathom that. But for me, it just harkens back to childhood.
The shrugging shoulders emoji doesn't do it for you.
Nope.
How long has it been?
I stopped before the pandemic.
Wow, years.
Yeah.
Will you ever go back? to be continued.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the other part, the more important part. I was just blown away by the fact that you're not on social media, and I wanted to.
I know,
find out why,
it's hard to not be on.
I would love to do that. You know, I picture Crazy Rich Asians, and fresh off the boat, and then I've got this picture of you in a car, you know, getting crashed into. It's a very different world in Terminalist. Do you like this kind of action, adventure, kind of hardcore, dive into a car and smash it up thing? Are you going to do more of that? What do you see in the future?
Well, the thing is, the way I choose my next project is always I kind of want to do something different than the thing before. So the thing I did before Terminalist was Hustlers, where I played a stripper with J-Lo. And then I did Terminalist. And then after that, I did a children's movie, a musical, really, in terms of like flexing different muscles in like my artistic sense, trying different things. But it was fun. It was definitely a challenge. And I like challenges because I think they're opportunities for growth. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
This was so wonderful.
It was nice to talk to you.
Really nice to talk to you, too.
I can't wait to watch. Our thanks to Phil for that interview. The Terminalist is now streaming on Amazon Prime Video. We are tracking several headlines around the world. Landslides threatened more homes in Peru, forcing families to evacuate after some 150 homes were damaged. Sliding rocks rolled down a rumbling hill as the country's defense minister visited the ravaged area. The minister warned people to stay away from at-risk areas with the threat of new landslides casting a shadow over the area. No deaths or injuries have yet been reported. Thousands of pilgrims started arriving in the holy city of Mecca for the first Hajj pilgrimage in 2 years because of the pandemic. Wrapped in white robes, some carrying umbrellas against the burning desert sun, and hundreds performed the first ritual of the Hajj, which involves walking in a circle around the Kaaba, the sacred building at the center of Mecca's Grand Mosque. And today marked the first day Switzerland's same-sex marriage law takes effect. Voters in September approved the Marriage for All initiative by a nearly two-thirds majority, making Switzerland one of the last countries in Western Europe to legalize same-sex marriage. If you're looking to try a new game this holiday weekend, how about pickleball? Have you heard of it? You've probably seen a few celebrities and professional athletes play the game, but what is it? ABC's Eva Pilgrim explains.
It's the sport that's kind of a big deal. Pickleball. Think of it as tennis meets ping pong with a side of badminton. Celebrities like the Kardashians to professional athletes are relishing it.
I'm nice at pickleball.
The sport spiking 35% in the past 3 years, with more than 38,000 official courts popping up from coast to coast.
You could be 22, 32, or 92, I guess, and just be really good at this game.
All you need is a net, a paddle, and a light plastic ball, making it the perfect, inexpensive summer pastime.
It's a very social game.
And it's a really fun sport and an easy sport to learn.
So easy, just ask our own Will Gans, who understood the assignment.
Did somebody say pickleball?
Well, sorta. Hitting the court.
This is why I studied journalism, you guys.
And getting the Pickle 101 from some pros at the 92nd Street Y.
Have you ever seen anyone learn this fast?
Our thanks to Eva and Will for that. I definitely want to try pickleball. My husband has been trying to get me to play. I think I will now. Before we go tonight, the image of the day, here it is. Hugs and joy as family and friends congratulated newly commissioned New York City police officers earlier today. A big thanks to them and all of the first responders across the country that work to protect us. That is our show for this hour. I'm Stephanie Ramos. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. And make sure you stay with us. Our ABC News Live special, Attack on the Capitol, the investigation, that's coming up next.